With the breakup of Yugoslavia in the early 90s, the security situation for civilians was growing increasingly perilous. United States intelligence services were looking for a way to increase watch over the region. Satellite imagery was poor over the Balkans. With the weather being especially cloudy, these satellites couldn't pierce through cloud cover that could be over the area for weeks at a time, often only providing a short window of surveillance. President Clinton would be pressed with growing reports of violence against civilians in Bosnia. The area would also be saturated with SA-2 and SA-6 SAM systems, so sending in a manned strike force would be out of question. General Atomics already having a contract with the Turkish Air Force in 1993, the drone would importantly already be operational. Desperate for increased intelligence, DCI James Woodley would bypass usual bureaucracy by buying the General Atomics GNAT 750 off the shelf. Frustrated with the lengthy and late drone programs from the Pentagon, the CIA would be able to get the drone operational within months instead of years. Improved with upgrades like an air-to-air data link relay system that would extend the range of the ground control station. But the drones wouldn't be without their problems, as before being sent to Europe, some of the early models would suffer crashes that would bring the entire program into question. Testing out the drone before deployment, software meant for on-the-ground testing was accidentally left on the GNAT 750. When the drone took off and there would be a brief signal loss, the drone assumed that it was on the ground and cut all power to the engine. Another crash would also occur when a strong gust of wind would fool sensors to thinking that the drone had zero airspeed. Responding to the indications, another shutdown of the engine would mean that the aircraft would plummet to the ground. This also resulted in a lost airframe, as the CIA would order more GNAT 750s to supplement the mission. Further limiting the drone, the signal hardware would be significantly weaker. The drone would require a manned relay aircraft that would need to tail the drone. The 1990s tech would be fairly capable for the time, as the drone would be able to stay aloft for 24 to 30 hours. However, the relay aircraft would limit any operation to around a few hours. Despite the RG-8 Schweitzer having an 8-hour flight time, the region necessitated that 6 of those hours would be spent getting from Albania to Yugoslavia. Despite the capabilities of the unmanned drone, the relay aircraft would significantly hamper operations. An additional challenge of operating in the Balkan region would be the mountainous terrain. If the GNAT 750 ever lost line of contact with the RG-8 relay plane, the signal to the satellites and ground stations would fail to properly work. However, despite some of the technical shortcomings, the CIA would send a team with GNAT 750s to Albania in 1994. Their operation, Lofty View, would use the advanced drone to try to monitor civilian sites, but this would only be done with some marginal success. Weather-related and operational issues meant that intelligence wasn't that easily obtained. However, since none of the assets were compromised during any missions, and the entire system would be fielded within a short time window, the entire operation was seen as a small success. Having around 30 missions, the only lost airframe would be due to a blocked fuel line in one of the earliest procured aircrafts. Further developments of the GNAT 750 would lead to the Predator drones extensively used by the CIA a decade or two later. This would be a quick overview of when the CIA had expedited drones to use over Eastern Europe. The 1990s would be a tumultuous time for that region, so having attritable assets that can provide real-time data would help usher in the drone wars. Thank you for checking out this quick video on the GNAT 750 and the CIA's desire to rapidly deploy them. If you enjoyed this covert operation style video, please comment down below. I should have other drone breakdowns covering historical and modern drones being fielded by Ukraine, Russia, and NATO. I appreciate you watching until the very end, and do not forget to have a phenomenal day.